Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hi all, late night Cappy, and I gotta do a late night video because this guy, and I'll warn you, don't tell me when I will deliver my videos. That's your last warning. Got your money, so just be careful when you tell me what to do. Anyway, this request is all over the place, and I'm going to answer each of these questions individually because it's just blah'd out. So I don't know. To be thorough, I'm going to answer these questions as they come along and then maybe address the general theory. Hey Aaron, I watched your last video a couple of times. I have some follow-up questions for another video request. I'll make a payment of $40 tonight. I'll expect the video tomorrow. Oh, will you now? Let me know if there are any problems with receiving payments. My following questions are: I have done the whole networking thing, the rubbing elbows with the right people, using LinkedIn, using my professional and educational network. What other alternatives, if any, can I use to find a job? Do I simply trespass on the property of some of these companies and tell them that I am not leaving until they give me an interview and take my resume? I wouldn't do that, but it wouldn't surprise me if you have better luck doing that. Do I harass them until I get an interview? If you harass them legally and in a playful, tasteful manner, maybe. But what I'm wondering is if it isn't the case where you're just in a bad fishing hole, where it's your town that you're looking in. It really could be something like that. I mean, seriously, sometimes you just got to go to a different town, a different state, a different county. But to get an interview, I mean, any way possible, you could do something, you know, I know you go to these networking events, which are a pain in the ass. You're using LinkedIn, which is good, Professional Education Network, all this other stuff, Indeed.com, Craigslist, any kind of place that, any job board, Monster. It's been so long since I've used Monster, but you could probably do that. But otherwise, what I would do, seriously, if you have the time and you know there's a company you definitely want to work for, you know, just hang out. This would take some time. Find out where they go to dinner or lunch, or their lunch rather. Listen in, eavesdrop, look up people. I mean, you could find people like General Mills. Let's say you want to work for General Mills. You want to work in IT. General Mills IT manager. You're going to find somebody's LinkedIn profile. Seriously, and then stalk the dude. Not in an illegal way, but find out where he works or she works. And then just kind of, you know, find out if they're in a social thing. Find out if they're in a dance class. Find out what they like to do. Find them. The internet makes us a lot easier to find out who managers are, and then oops, you bump into them accidentally in the social world, and you play coy. You play coy. They're like, my gosh, you know, what are you doing? And you say, oh, I'm a Java programmer. Something very specific. That look at, oh, really? Well, I work in Java too. Oh, no kidding. Oh, that's interesting. Anyone hiring over at your joint? Let's say, matter of fact, they are. And then that would be a way. But in other words, look, let's be honest. If you spend half the time that you did looking for porn on the internet, finding people who are hiring managers, using whatever search tactics, you could probably find them. So that'd be one way to do it. How do I vet recruiters? There are so many of them, and I have worked with all of them, it seems. Here's a partial list. Robert Half. Oh, fuck Robert Half. Fuck Robert Half. That's a waste of fucking time. Workbridge, JobSpring, Professional Staffing Group, John Galt Staffing. John Galt Staffing sounds interesting. Hollister Staffing. Okay, so you list them all. The business model seems to be let's call as many people as possible, cement only quasi-soft leads, not tell talent anything, and try to sell their information even when the talent doesn't want their information released. Try to fill as many potential bodies in the interviewer's seat so that it wastes the client's time. Try to harass the client, try to harass the talent, and get up to divisional manager as soon as possible. The real issue is that this seems to be the only way to get to the hiring manager with HR attached. What are some of the techniques I can use to vet the sincerity of a recruiter to me as a client for competency? Do they know what I do for a living? Culture? Do they know what I want to work? Basically an unabusive employer. Do they know what I want out of a manager and all? No, okay, you're already asking way too much out of recruiters, okay? You give recruiters your resume and you have them go pound sand for you. All right, they're not going to deliver you a job on a fucking silver platter. You got to evaluate the job offers or the interview options that come up. As for vetting the recruiters themselves, I would just, I mean, you got your resumes with all of them. I would go and find out which ones produce the most, which ones get you in front of the client or an interviewer. most frequently. That to me would be the number one thing. I personally don't need my hand held and like, well, do you know how my feelings are? And I kind of like this from manager. I want to, well, what is it? No. Like, did you get me an interview? Is it a job I like? Cool. Now, some of them, I mean, you could certainly look them up and find out what people are saying. Look at the reviews. Look at Yelp. But yeah, a lot of these, it depends because a lot of these are regional and local too. So it really depends on who you're looking at and where you are. But just do a basic search on the internet for these recruiting companies. It doesn't hurt to give me a resume. Here's my resume. Give me a fucking job. I don't care. Just fucking give me a job. I mean, and then you're done. But yeah, if they're not producing, yeah, that's the number one way I tell. Also, how are their sales? Can I sell? Yeah. So yeah, it's those three things. One, try a different town. Seriously, I mean, I remember I could find jobs in other towns. Minneapolis was fucking hell for a long time. And now it's like, where do you want to work? Nah, not really. Nah, but that's because times have changed. Vetting recruiters, just keep sending them out. Don't expect luxury, 7-star hotel service from them as long as they get you in front of interviewers for jobs that are legitimate. That's another good thing. And then finding the managers, getting around HR, seriously, use the power of the internet, stalk your prey, find out where they work, find out who's the manager, and then find out what their hobbies are, and then try and find them in a social capacity. Don't find them at their home, okay? That's what I'm saying. Find out, like, if they belong to some kind of club that you can join, or something, anything, okay? Be a detective. That's what you got to do. Do not go to their home, okay? Don't best. That is stalking. But yeah, that's desperate times, desperate measures, but I'll tell you this, you're going to spend a lot less time searching somebody on the internet, finding out what their hobbies are, and accidentally bumping into them and mentioning in casual conversation that, you're the type of guy they're looking for. You're going to save infinitely more time than sitting in front of a 24-year-old HR cunt asking you what your favorite color is and why. Best of luck. Toodles.